So this is like one-to-one and one-to-many exchanges.
ఇవే కదా
So
టాపిక్స్, క్యూస్ టాపిక్స్ అవే కదా
yeah,
డెస్టినేషన్.
yeah, yeah. I'm coming there only. So messages can be stored. This can be stored and forwarded So in the through with the help of message broker.
ఓకే.
And then so it supports asynchronous message. So there's something called as asynchronous, which is nothing but it doesn't go by an order. First it will go as per its requirement. It supports asynchronous message for the time being. And then so what are the vendors? Every standard will have an implementation. So something called as JMS vendors. Standards will be published by your standards body. So their responsibility is to provide their standards, Java message library. So this is how they will create product with it. JMS vendors like Amazon SQS, Java. Sorry, like we have Apache ActiveMQ, we have IBMQ, we have Apache. There are various things. These are all vendors. JMS vendors will be available. So as of now, we will go with Apache ActiveMQ. This is a JMS system. So that is why I said this JMS will have its own runtime. This is your
ఓకే. ఇది
this is a circle,
వన్ ఆఫ్
all
ద
rectangle.
బ్రోకర్ అండ్ అమెజాన్ ఎస్క్యూఎస్ ఈజ్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఎంఎస్ఏ బ్రోకర్. అండ్ వాట్ ఇస్ యాక్చువల్ జేఎంఎస్? ఐ సా జేఎంఎస్ ఆల్సో, నో?
That is what this JMS has separate vendors. Within the vendors, we are working on the ActiveMQ, Apache
ఓకే.
ActiveMQ. That is called JMS.
ఓకే. ఓకే. సో వీఆర్
So
యూజింగ్ ద ఎంక్యూ కనెక్టర్, యూ మీన్ లైక్ దట్?
AnyPoint MQ is totally different, and this is
ఓహో!
totally different. That is part of Mulesoft. This is third party, as I mentioned.
ఓహ్! ఓకే. ఓకే.
Yeah,
So, okay. So to send and receive the message from JMS, we have to use this active Apache ActiveMQ.
yeah.
Okay.
So this has its own runtime, and we have this Mule runtime. So this is also this is your Mule runtime. Then so we have two popular messaging models. So there are something called as queues. This is part of point to point. This is
Yeah.
a point to point where single sender sends a message to queue and single receiver pulls the message to a queue. So single receivers will pull it. So though you have multiple receivers, but
Only one
only
receives.
one can receive with the help of queue. If one receives the message will automatically gets deleted from the queue. But receiver does not need to be listening to the queue at the time of messaging is been sent. If the receiver is offline, publisher
Mm.
has been published, for example. If the receiver is offline, if it comes after some time, after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, still the message get exists to read. Something called as topics. Topics is something called one to many. It helps us to distribute the messages. Something like publishing it one to many by means of publishing it and also
Yeah.
subscribing it.
One publisher and many subscribers.
Exactly. So
Mm.
you have many communication. This is publish subscriber communication. This is also called as publish subscribe communication. So your publisher will be there, and publisher, for example, you have a publisher over here, and you
Mm.
have a topic component over here,
Mm.
and then you have different subscribers over here.
Okay.
Then what happens? So publisher will send out a message to the topic. This topic will go ahead and distribute the message to the subscribers. So you have different
Send to all
subscribers. So this
subscribers.
is like it is one to many. So subscriber will go
Mm.
ahead and do this. In the same way, this is for the topic.
Okay.
And then this is for the queue.
Yeah. Q1 to
So in
1.
this queue, it is simple. Where is my res- It doesn't happen over here. It goes into how many of our subscribers you have. If you are intended to some one particular queue, it will go into the potential receiver itself. That's it.
Only one receiver. Okay.
Yeah. So this is a your subscriber will subscribes to the messages. How many subscribers are active at that particular point of time? Those many subscribers will receive the messages. So if this subscriber is offline, then he will not going to receive the message. But he also wants to receive the message. Then what is that we'll do? We will work on durable subscription concept. If you work on durable subscription concept, the same thing will be even the subscriber is offline, he will still get the message. So overall, JMS is a standard. It will have different vendors implementation. So JMS supports two messaging models. So one is queue and one is another one is topic. Queue is for one-to-one communication like this, and topic is for one-to-many communication. So in the queue, if the message is sent to the queue, if the consumer is offline, even even if the what you say the receiver comes online after some time, also still he will receive the message. But at the topics, then you will do
No.
man-to-many. If the receiver is offline, then he might not receive a message, but still, if he wants to get the message, if the person is online, then we will go into an durable
Europe.
component. So this is the basic theory which you need to understand. And so from the mule, how do we connect this JMS system? With the help of something called as JMS connector.
Mm.
Um, so we will have a JMS connector. So in this case, what happens? It simplifies application which are developed, which has a standard interface of creating. So it says a standard interface. And then how exactly it is the standard? It can create, then send or receive
Mm.
messages. And then JMS connector relies on JMS client library. Okay, so what does it mean? So whenever you have a standard and when you have an implementation from different vendors, each vendor will provide a library. How do you connect to the particular system? So it is the same thing which applies at the database. There are multiple databases exist, but every database vendor will
There's a
provide a
library.
query. Basically, it provides something
But in
like
this,
over here also it will have a library. With the help of the
so for
library,
JMS, do we need to import the library
that's
or
what
the
I'm saying.
mule provided? Okay.
That those are the libraries which needs to be added. If these libraries are added to the Mule application. So
Okay.
how exactly it is? It supports the message exchanges with the help of both queues and topics.
Mm.
Queues and topics. So this is a, and then what are the supported operation? Supported operations.
Send and
It is
receive.
nothing
Use.
but publish. First thing initially is you will publish, you will consume. Once it consumes, there's a listener which is called as on new message.
Publish, sending to consume, receive. What is on new message? If any new message,
Listener.
listener. Okay. If any
So
new
whatever you
message.
want to publish,
Okay.
so once it publishes, it will listen to it.
But both are looks to be same, na? Consuming the messages and the on new message.
On your message acts as a listener. Consuming here means HTTP listener, HTTP request. What is the difference over there?
HTTP request is sending the messages.
HTTP listener is sending a messages,
HTTP receiver receiving.
receiving, invoking.
Uh, invoking.
So
HTTP request
consuming
is
is
sending.
nothing but invoking.
Okay. Yeah, consume is nothing. Consuming the messages from a QR topic కదా
Exactly.
consuming.
Hmm.
ఆన్ న్యూ మెసేజ్ అంటే ఏదైనా న్యూ మెసేజ్ వచ్చినప్పుడు పిక్ చేసుకోవడం అంతేనా లైక్ ఎస్టిపి
Exactly.
లిజనర్.
So once you publish, you don't have consume over there. Then you have another flow with a listener of on your message. Then it will act as a flow reference. This publish is there in. I'll explain you. Don't worry. And then what are the usages for this? These are I'm just explaining what are the operations as of now, and how exactly we'll use it, and what are the usage. These are the inter-application communication through asynchronous queue.
ఫైర్ అండ్
Through
ఫార్వర్డ్.
asynchronous queue. And then how do you do that? You will add the JMS module to the project. Once it adds, we will go ahead and give the necessary libraries and provide a broker URL, whatever the URL the client will be providing us.
Mm.
So those URLs will be updated, something like name and password. You will use operation to publish and also you will consume the events.
Mhm.
And then, so these are the things we have to go ahead and use it. So let's go to our example. How do we use JMS system? So what system we will use to go ahead and work on? So there's a system. Let me 1 second share my screen. So I have provided the practice document. So you have this practice document called as a JMS.
Mm.
So let me
Okay.
open that JMS part. You're not able to view the document, right?
Yeah, nice. No.
Only Anypoint platform. Sorry,
Fantastic.
Studio.
History. Mm.
Okay. Now, so
Mm.
this is my JMS details which I have provided over here. So this is an asynchronous communication between flows using the JMS connector. So what is that? So I have a JMS broker, which is nothing but ActiveMQ.
Mm.
So just try to go ahead and download the latest JMS version. So open this out. That's it. Yeah, open this out. And this is the URL, you'll have it. And then you'll
ఇది
get a
యాక్టివ్
downloaded version.
ఎంక్యూ కదా జేఎంఎస్ ఎంక్యూ రెండు బోత్ డిఫరెంట్ కదా
JMS broker ఇది.
ఏం
You
బ్రో
see, that is what I'm saying. When you use the connector of JMS, these are the details which we are updating over here. So most of the time we will be using active MQs.
ఓకే ఓకే బట్ ఓకే ఓకే బట్ ఎంక్యూ అండ్ జేఎంఎస్ బోత్ ఆర్ డిఫరెంట్ మెసేజ్ బ్రోకర్స్ కదా
See, JMS lone we have JMS is a broker. Okay. JMS broker అయినప్పుడు it has its own components. For example, what broker will do, it will try to get the client. So over here, మన client వచ్చేసి Java messaging system, it is an active MQ.
ఓకే క్వశ్చన్ ఫర్ సపోజ్ ఒక పబ్లిషరు మెస్ అనే జేఎంఎస్ సర్వర్ పైన పబ్లిష్ చేస్తుంది నాట్ ఇన్ ద ఎంక్యూ సర్వర్
Sorry.
ఓకే వీ హ్యావ్ ద జేఎంఎస్ సర్వర్ అండ్ ఎంక్యూ సర్వర్ బోత్ ఆర్ డిఫరెంట్ ఒక పబ్లిషర్ నార్మల్గా జేఎంఎస్ సర్వర్ పైన మెసేజ్ పబ్లిష్ చేస్తే మనం జేఎంఎస్ సర్వర్ నుంచి మెసేజ్ కన్జ్యూమ్ చేసుకోవాలి అలాంటప్పుడు ఇదే యూజ్ చేయాలా
See, JMS లో you will also have MQ queues, which is an IBM MQ ఉంటుంది. So message server అనేది JMS server అంటే it's not necessary that it has to be JMS server. It might be IBM MQ, it might be Active MQ, it might be anything. But most of the projects it relies on Active MQ. That server is nothing but this is the MQ server.
ఓకే ఓకే ఎంక్యూ యా
So that is how it is. So JMS is a broker. Example, Mulesoft is a broker. Okay, it is acts as a mediation. What exactly it does is you will have different connectors. It is listening to a certain system called as Salesforce. It is doing some logic and then it is throwing out.
ఓకే ఓకే
So within the MuleSoft also you will be using different components. Certain example like an ActiveMQ kind of thing. So MuleSoft itself doesn't have separate one single component. It has multiple components. In the same way, JMS server has multiple components.
ఓకే ఓకే
Yeah. So this is a file. So once you get the software and the zip file, I'm getting a resound. Sorry.
రీసౌండ్
Yeah, my own voice I'm able to listen.
didn't change anything.
Yeah.
హలో
Yeah.
ఓకేనా ఇప్పుడు నేను చేంజ్ చేయలేదు యాక్చువల్లీ
Yeah. Much better.
ఓకే ఓకే
So then what you need to do is just download this zip file. So once you get the software as a zip file, you know how to do it zip file. Just go here wherein I have saved it somewhere for me. Then it is software over here.
Extract and
So I
place
have,
here.
sorry.
Extract చేసి ఇందులో ప్లేస్ చేయాలి
Yeah,
అంతే.
you can save it over here. I
Hmm.
think, yeah, see, Apache ActiveMQ. So this is where I have. So I have
Only extract.
516. Hmm, I have
ఓకే,
extracted
ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేసి
already.
అందులో పెట్టాలి. ఓకే ఓకే, గాట్ ఇట్. యా.
So then, so this is a 516 as of now I have over here. You have 518.
18.
So this is where you will be using. So just check what is the compatibility which is say using. So accordingly you can go ahead and use it. What is the Java compatibility 11? So if that is the 11, then download the Java 11 for you.
ఓకే ఓకే, గాట్ ఇట్.
Okay, you can yeah, download JDK 11. Then only it would be work for. So this is la.
ఓకే, ఇన్ ద రియల్
So
టైమ్‌లో మనం
uh,
డౌన్‌లోడ్ చేసుకోవాలా?
or
రియల్
else
టైమ్‌లో
if
కంపల్సరీ.
that is not working, I'll just upload this zip file for you in the shade folder.
యా ప్లీజ్
Yeah.
అప్లోడ్. యా. ఓకే.
See, this is for the practice purpose, but most of the time, organizations won't work on JMS queues. They will work on the Anypoint MQs itself. Wherein we don't have accesses to the Anypoint MQ, it's a licensed one. This has been provided for us for the practice purpose. How exactly
బికాస్
it
ఎందుకంటే
works.
నేను చాలా లింక్డ్ఇన్‌లో గాని, అందులో గాని చూస్తూ ఉంటే
Hmm.
టిప్కో, మ్యూల్సాఫ్ట్ కావాలి అని అంటారు. టిప్కోలో ఎక్కువ జేఎంఎస్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం. ఎంక్యూ తక్కువ.
Okay.
యెస్.
Yeah, because
జేఎంఎస్.
TIPCO is not uh, again. Okay, so TIPCO is like it's not part of Anypoint, right? Anypoint has its own product.
యాహ్! బట్ టిప్కో ఈస్ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ టూల్ లైక్ మ్యూల్సాఫ్టే. బట్ టిప్కోలో
Exactly.
ఎక్కువగా జేఎంఎస్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం. ఎంక్యూ యూజ్ చేయము. ఎంక్యూఎంఎస్ ఎక్కువ యూజ్ చేయము. టిప్కోలో జేఎంఎస్.
If they are using JMS also, it would be active MQ itself.
యాక్టివ్ ఎంక్యూస్.
There
ఓకే.
are different
యూజ్.
MQs. Anypoint MQ is totally different again.
ఓకే. ఈవెన్ ఎంక్యూ డిఫరెంట్ అండ్
AMQ
అంటే
means
యూజ్ ద జేఎంఎస్ సర్వర్, జేఎంఎస్ క్యూస్ టాపిక్ వి హావ్ టు యూజ్ దిస్ యాక్టివ్ ఎంక్యూ.
exactly.
ఓకే, గాట్ ఇట్. ఓకే.
So then, so so this is what you will download. So
హ్మ్.
I have went ahead and used it my 5.16.5. This is based
హ్మ్.
upon my Java version, and then I have downloaded it. Now
హ్మ్.
I have unzipped the file.
హ్మ్.
You have previous versions over here also. You can use it, and then you can see how exactly where exactly my binaries exist. So just go inside this. I have my own binaries over here which has been existed,
ఓకే.
and go inside the bin. So these are all my binaries. Then it has its own operating system based upon which you can go inside it, and then from here open a command prompt from here,
హ్మ్.
and then try to run your ActiveMQ. There's something called as ActiveMQ go dot bat file. So what you say is uh, ActiveMQ dot bat. So
సర్వర్
I'll
లాంచింగ్
just
ద
say
సర్వర్.
access. Yeah. So this will start your ActiveMQ server. So this is an MQ runtime environment. So it has it will provide multiple gates to listen to it. So you can contact with different things. Just hang on a second, I'll show you. Yes, this one. The TCP, this AMQP, you can contact with STOMP, and you can contact with this MQTT. So AMQP, for
వాట్ ఇస్
example,
దిస్
I'll tell you.
సర్వర్స్?
I'll tell you. Let me copy this. TCP is a protocols like this is your port number, protocol, host name, and port name is similar to that. This is a protocols like TCP, AMQP, STOMP. These are different protocols for this particular queue. So just copy until this, it is enough. Just copy this out. So this will connect to your system. So we have copied this, and then what is that you need to do? Just follow this document. Where is it? And then try to open your server. What is it saying? 8161 admin. This is the server. So Let me copy paste it here for my reference, whatever I have copied, so that it would be useful for me. Now, let me copy this HTTP localhost 86. So all these URLs and everything will be provided by the client. You don't have to worry. So this is just you need to be aware what exactly you need. Something which was not being provided by the end customer, then or a client, then we will go ahead and ask them these details. So let's go to the just copy paste this and remove this admin and
Okay.
enter. So it will ask for the username and password. So you have a
Mm.
username and
So
password which will
what
be
is this
created
actual
by them.
localhost 8161 MQ?
Yeah, this is for the MQ authorization.
Okay, okay. But
That's
where
what
is
I'm
this
saying.
8161 is available exactly? In the batch script?
No,
How we
that's
know?
what I'm saying. This URL will be provided by the clients itself.
Okay, okay. This okay, okay. That is a
That we are
MQ
not
URL,
we are
MQ.
we are
Okay.
not supposed to know how exactly this has been working, but these are
Mm.
the links which we need for our configuration purpose.
Okay, if you wanted to if you wanted to call a JMS server, they will give the JMS that link.
Link,
Okay.
exactly. So admin is the password. Even everything, all the credentials will be provided by them.
Okay.
Once you log in, then
Mm.
we will create queues and topics based upon this. So when you come here, then just click on manage. Sorry, is the link, and then just click on that, and you will see this is the ActiveMQ broker. So it will show you about all your ActiveMQ, what are there, it is there, and then you have queues and you
Mm.
have topics, and also you will have a subscribers. So all the things. So you can see all the things. So let me go here. Let me delete this. These are my previous queues. I just wanted to, and also topics also do the same thing. Let me delete as of now. Yeah, let me. So these are the default things which I have. Now let me go ahead and click on subscribers. I don't have anything. So now I don't have any queues. Let me go
Yes.
ahead and create the queue first. Click on the queues and then create a queue. Something like e batch, something like this. E
Mm.
batch queue. These are the naming convention which we do. So then you will click on create. So once you have created, and then there is a send button link. So if you want to send some message,
Mm.
just go ahead and click on the send message. And what is the destination name? What is that you want to send out a message? Something like uh, say B-17, or rather, what is the batch which you have created? Sorry, it is E hyphen. Yeah. So it will automatically show our destination. So what is it? It is a queue or a topic. It is a queue, and enter some text over here. So what is that you want to? This is first message to you from AMQ console. Then try to send the message. Now
Mm.
let's go ahead and check in the queues. So this has been sent out. So into
Okay.
this queue, how many messages has been
One.
queued? This has been enqueued. This means pushed. So how many are still pending inside this particular queue? As of now, one
Oh.
message is queued, one message is pending. Now go inside the queue. This one. See, you will be able to see there is one message. Now try to open the message and check the properties. What is the message contents? What are the properties? And also what is the message details which have been stored.
Mhm.
Now let's go to our Mule application and then try to consume the message which is being updated over here. So all these messages, so these messaging queues normally works for the order details. So for example, order ID, order details which are been enqueued. So you need to publish or subscribe this particular, consume this particular thing. How do you consume in the MuleSoft? That is what we are going to go ahead and configure. So all these details will be provided at the person who's already working on the JMS queue.
No, okay.
Then let me, for example, think like a
Mhm.
source system. It is sending a message to the queue. Now you wanted to read this message in the MuleSoft. Now we have learned half of the part as of now. If the
Mm.
JMS is saying that source system will ask how do you behave, then you will learn both the things. What is the next part? Now let me create a new project itself, something called as Mule project. J JMS, or rather demo. I'll just say this is my JMS demo and finish.
Mm.
Let's wait until this gets created. Let's save it out.
Mm.
Close it. I don't want any other things. So I have went ahead and created the project. Now start with the listener, listening to it. It will start listening to it. So, so as of now, my process is starting with the HTTP listener, and mine just check the configuration. Nothing is there. Just provide the configuration which is by default.
Mm.
Just hang on a second. Click on OK, and then JMQ. So something like consume, I will say JMS JMQC, and
Mm.
then I'll add a logger, starting logger, and also the ending logger.
Okay, in the real time,
I'll
normally we
add a,
use a logger, or do they use any some logging libraries?
I will use loggers most of the time.
Only loggers only. Okay.
Yeah. Then let me go ahead and add the modules, which is called as a JMS over here. And then I wanted to consume.
Mm.
I wanted to consume a message. Now let's go ahead and create the connector configuration. Just
Connection.
hang on a second. So what is that we need to do? Let's go to add
Connection.
connector configuration. 1 second.
Active MQ client, active MQ broker.
Just 1 minute.
Okay, okay.
My son was playing it. I don't want any noises to be heard. So that's the reason I closed the door.
Mm.
So this should be active MQ connection. Just expand this always whenever
Mm.
the dialog box opens. Just expand this out so that
Mm.
you will get all the necessary details over here. Now,
Mm.
then we need to give the username. What is the username for the timing? Admin
Admin.
is the password. Password is also admin.
Mm.
And then connection factory configuration. It should be edit inline,
What is this 18 line exactly?
or rather, just give me a second.
Okay. These are queue connection factory, topic connection factory, those.
So, yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
This is
But I'm seeing only
connection.
one here. Normally we
What is
have
it?
two, not two for queue connection, topic connection.
Exactly. Normally we should have two over here. I'm just checking what. Just let me click on none. Yeah, so factory
Mm.
configuration as of now none. And this should be edit inline. That's what I'm thinking. What happened to this? And then what is the
Connection factory
I think I
change.
think we don't need to give any connection factory as of now. We'll directly give factory configuration within edit inline. We'll provide the URL. So this is the URL. If you can see where exactly your broker is running. Now just go back to your command prompt. Where exactly is your broker running? My broker is listening another TCP protocol. Where is my TCP? This is the particular TCP host
Okay.
and port.
So
Just
this is a
copy
JMS
this.
server, is
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
this is the server which we are using.
Mm.
So you have URL, username, and password. And what
Mm.
else you need? So now I need client libraries to connect. So every software, so when they provide, just go back to your software components here. This one. So
Mm.
this will give you the libraries in the root folder. There's something called as a jar file, ActiveMQ jar file. So this is the library which will always provide. Now you can go ahead and click on anything out of this. Just click on any one. Example over
Mm.
here, and then use local file. Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
In the
This is a local file, yeah. And then browse it. When you are
let me check
browsing,
where the
just
job.
get that URL. Yeah, just get that URL.
But in the real time also we have to do the coding like this only.
Either they will give you the Maven dependency.
Mm.
Mostly they will give you the Maven dependency, or they will ask you to install. It's the same thing which you do in your organization. You will, most of the time we will download it.
Okay. Okay. Can you show how that Maven dependency as well? Yeah.
Maven, see, that's what.
Mm.
I always work on AnyPoint MQ. So this is the something which I have prepared on my own. So there is no Maven dependency. That is the reason we always work on the jar file. So Maven dependency, what happens over here is, I'll tell you,
Mm.
add Maven dependency, for example. So
Mm.
over here, we will just give, so this is the by default, okay?
Mm.
This kind of a default thing which you already have in the docs. And this over here, we will just update the version, ActiveMQ client and version. That's it. And click on finish. That's how your dependency comes in.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And no, that's it. So it will be compile and jar. So the moment you give, it will create a jar file. See, the moment you give, most of the time, clients will give you all the necessary jar files, necessary softwares to be downloaded. So at the initial system setup, whatever the requirements which we need, the client will provide for that matter.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So if you see at one particular place, I have added the jar file. It gets
Mm.
added to the rest of the library segments also, like broker and this one. So all these three libraries will get loaded. So these jar files will contain all three libraries, and then something go. Yeah. So this is done. If you want, you can test the connection. So as of now, I don't want to do it. So this is where it is, and let me recheck if something which is within. Okay, fine. Let me test the connection for our benefit. So on a daily basis, what is that you're doing?
Attending trainings and just that's it.
That's it. Okay, attending trainings in the sense internally, you mean to say?
Yeah, internal.
Okay. So your training
Yeah.
test and connection is successful.
Mm.
Now click on OK. So connector configuration is done. Now let's go ahead and configure the operation. Now I'm connecting to this particular JMS system. Fine. What
Mm.
about
Destination, yeah,
in
that
this
is, we
JMS
already
system
created that.
over here? What is that we wanted to do? So
E-batch.
I wanted to read the data from the queue. So what
Mm.
is the queue name? What is the destination name? Just
E-icon
go to the
batch.
queues.
Okay.
This is my destination name. Copy it. Yeah. Just update the queue. What is the consumer type? by default leave it. It will be a queue consumer itself. So for example, you go to the JMS elements, global element, then go to configure, JMS configuration. There is something called as by default consumer. By default type is queue consumer. You don't need to select as it is a
But
queue
if it is
consumer.
topic, we have to update, no?
That's it. Exactly. By default, it will take it as a queue.
Mm.
So we don't select anything, none as of now. And you can leave rest of the things. And if you have multiple subscribers, which one will read the, or rather, which one will read the message from the queue? That is dependent based upon your selector properties. So,
Mm.
so if you remember, when you have multiple subscribers or multiple consumers, so what are the potential receivers? Which one will receive? So that depends upon your
This is
filter
after, yeah,
condition. That is
yeah, I
called
know
as
that.
a selection over here,
Mm.
selector. So on your properties of your message,
Okay, so
over here,
these we have
you
to
go
hard
inside.
code, or can we get from some global variable?
These things which we need to have hard code. We cannot get it from the variable because these are the
No,
unique
the,
IDs.
those message selectors and the queue name, everything. Can we
This
get
one
from?
we will have a separate configuration when we have that separate topic called as configuration properties. So that
Okay.
is where we will declare everything. So then we will use dynamically because we won't expose directly into the connectors.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Because
We will
like a
create a
connection also, each
configuration
environment
properties
is a
inside
different.
the main resource. Exactly. So we don't want to expose anything.
Okay, okay.
So then what is that? You can go ahead and filter the message based upon any one of the field. So that
Mm.
is what it is the selector. And then this is done. Consumer is done. And I will try to convert this into, I want to transform this into a JSON format. Otherwise, you will get an error.
Okay, transfer message to user to convert the one form to another form.
Another form to another form.
Any form like Java, JSON, XML,
Exactly.
text. Okay.
So these are my, if you can see what are the input properties, this is what it is carrying the input properties. And then click on save it and try to debug the application and add a breakpoint over here. This is my JMS QC. So what I will do is,
Okay. Okay. This is a listener actually. I don't want to put the listener. I wanted to receive the message directly from the queue. Can we do?
no, it has to listen. Wait,
Oh,
so
without
it
HTTP listener, we cannot consume the message.
that's what for basically it will consume the message, but initially there should be a listener for this. Obviously, you will get from the web request itself. So once you consumes, then you can have a listener as a component separate flow over there. Directly, you won't listen. Once it listens from the web request, then it will listen and forward it to the next queue. So then you will use a listener component of the JMS over here. Then you will use on new message.
Okay. Uh, so how? Okay, in the JMS also we have listeners like HTTP listener.
This one, on your message, like file
Oh,
connector.
okay, okay, okay. So instead of using the HTTP listener, we can use on new message, no?
Instead, in the sense for the initial request or in order to consume, you need to have a HTTP listener.
No, but the problem here, for suppose the client send the message on the EMS or the JMS queue, then we have to consume the message on the
That's
JMS
what
queue
I'm
and
saying.
the
That's what
process.
I'm saying. First, it will once you might have what do you say the client is sending out some messages. First, you need to send out the request right from your end. So once you send out a request, then you are using a consume as a component over here. This consume will listen, what do you say, it will read the message, whatever the queues or topics which client is sending. Through this only we are connecting the
No,
configurations and everything.
but who will send the message to the listener?
We will only, that's what I'm saying. Once you consume it, we will
Mm.
have one more flow with the listener.
Mm, okay, okay. Example in that
Let me
normal.
complete. Let me
Okay,
complete
okay,
this.
okay.
Then probably you will understand. because everything, all the things comes up together might be confusing also.
Yeah.
Let's also discuss consume and publish, then probably we'll understand. So this is JMSC localhost, and then I'll just say JMSC. This has been deployed, and then send out a request.
Okay.
What
Available
happened?
listener
JMQC is not available. Listen ads.
isn't
Let me see.
path
JMQC or JMC, which I've got.
path
What?
JMQ.
JMQC. Sorry, I meant JMQC. Go ahead and send out a request. Let's go to the next process and see what exactly it is doing. So before you go to the consume, just go to messages inside your queue. Where is it? So just check the message. So how many published as of now? Pending. One. So how many consumed? Nothing has been consumed now.
Mm. If you go to next
Nothing
slide.
has been consumed. Then
Mm.
1 second. Close this. Now let's do the consume. Now try to refresh your queue. So how many has been enqueued? One. Pending? Zero. How many dequeued? One. So
This is
enqueued
zero.
one. So it has been published one and read one.
Mm.
This has been published one. This one is read. That is how you will have one enqueued and one dequeued. So there is no message. And what is the message which you are getting? So this is the message which got consumed. This is the first message to queue from AMQ console. This is the message which we had sent to the queue. And this is the transformation which we have done from the JSON. And we are leaving the flow. Let me send out a request again because of the time constraint. Probably that will give you an error.
If there is no message, it will give the error. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the fill. Okay, in the logger, I did not mention anything over here. So whenever you don't mention logger component over here,
Mm.
then it will give you all the attributes. What are the headers and everything? It will read all
Attributes
the
of the
attributes out.
listener or the previous activity, previous connector.
Previous connector. So entire thing, everything, whatever the
All
things which we
connectors?
have. JMQ, HTTP listener, basically
Oh,
whatever the
okay.
source
The
system which we have, that source
listener.
system
Okay.
will be there.
All
Not
that.
not only
Okay.
listener, it's basically the source.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Fail to retrieve something. Okay.
So this is how it is. Now, is it clear how to consume from the
Mm.
JMS as of now?
Yeah.
Let me clear this console. Then, so whatever the data which is coming, this conversion of a JSON will happen inside your transform message. Let me update this as a payload as well. So payload for now. I'll just mention start. Save it out. So this is for the consume purpose. Now,
Mm.
the next one. Now you're clear with the consume, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Let me go back to the queues.
Send one message. Okay.
Yeah. So as of now, I don't have anything. So one which is already been published and then, sorry, consumed, and then one it has been read. So this is the concept which I have. Now this has been queued. Same thing for the publish. So let me take the same flow
Mm.
for this publish. Let's go ahead and look into the same thing publish. What I will do is
ఓకే ఇంకో ఫ్లో
this
కావాలంటే
main
మొత్తం
flow
ఎక్కడ నుంచి కాపీ చేయాలి ఓకే డెమో
in
డెమో
my conversion. That's it.
ఫ్లో నేమ్ ఓకే
Set. Yeah, let me give a space over here and click on yes.
సేవ్ ఓకే సో ఇట్ గెట్ ద టూ ఫ్లోస్
Yes, good. Just go to. So it cannot be the same now. what you can do is this one would be JMS.
Different
Yeah,
names
you need
ఉండాలి.
to
Different names ఉండాలి.
compulsory. Otherwise, it will throw out an error because it doesn't know what is that you're doing, which flow it has to go.
Okay.
And then this would be JMS publisher. So, so instead of consume, what is that we do is we'll
Sending and
start to publish.
publish. Okay, publish. Okay, ACK consume.
So this ACK or something recovery session is nothing but something which you have lost it. So that is what we use. Normally we don't use this recover or ACK because that's a big headache over here. Normally we go ahead and give error handling. ACK is nothing but whether it's acknowledged or no. So మనకు ఒక reference laga acknowledge, just like a logger component, whether this has been acknowledged or no.
ఓకే, కన్ఫర్మ్ చేయడం అంటారా,
Confirm
అంతేనా?
చేయడం. Exactly. So this is where it is, and then publish have given. So tell me one thing. For the publish, for the consumer, I need to get a transfer message, whatever it is been consumed. Now, where shall the transfer message be now? What is the message you want to send? Obviously, you need to send some message, right? Then only it will publish. Then this has to come this way first. So
ఓకే,
this
బట్
is what?
ఇన్ ద పబ్లిష్లో రాయాలిగా మనం, పబ్లిష్ కనెక్టర్లో ఆ మెసేజ్ రాయొచ్చు కదా మనం.
ఇంకేం చేయలేదు. So consume is something which is consumed at the URL, what is it, the MQ stage. Something, the message is being consumed, and we want that message to be updated in a JSON. But if you want to publish that into a messaging queue directly over there from here, so how is that we do? We will do the transformation, and we will try to go ahead and update the data. What is that you want to send? Now, what is that? JSON, and this will be payload. So what are the payload which we have that will be published, or rather, let's not a payload. I'll just say attributes dot from query parameters. We will try to send the message. So that query params name is MSG. And what will I say by default? If I don't send anything, I'll just say message from Mule application publish. So this is message from Mule application publish operation, something like this. So if you have any query parameters, something with value MSG, that will go. If not, by default, this message will go. That is the condition which we are giving as of now. Then save it out.
బట్ క్వెరీ params we are not sending anything కదా.
Oh,
హలో,
so want to send query params. Hello.
వాయిస్ హలో.
Yes, Shiva.
క్వెరీ params మనం సెండ్ చేయడం లేదు కదా.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to send something in a query params, you can just go ahead and send a query param with a key as a message and value. If you have something, if you are not sending any query parameter, by default, this will take it.
Okay.
So something which you want to publish. So either query parameter value you'll send, or by default, it will go it now. And then come to publish. I need to go ahead and give this configuration as this. Second. What is the destination which we are looking about? Just go here, copy this. This is the queue name. So this is the, as of now, we are looking into queue. So what is the message you want to send? And save it out. And then Based upon this, the data will be sent based upon your transfer message. Let's go ahead and check our console. Oh, sorry, my path has to be changed. Otherwise, it will throw out an error. This has to be JMQP. Let's wait until the operations gets updated. Now you should receive building to 100, then only. So every component, whatever you run, whatever you debug, you just need to observe what are the operations which are functioning. So that is how you will observe and learn, even the minute thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we went ahead and here QB. Otherwise, two listeners will have a same name. So that is the reason we always need to change the JMQP. And then you will have many libraries which gets loaded because of this MQ. So that is the reason most of the what is a projects they won't use third party
Mm-hmm.
queues, JMS queues or whatever it is, because the lag there'll be a performance issue altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So it is initializing, so it will download all types of libraries, whatever the dependencies which have, it will download it. So this is created. If you can see, these are all the dependencies which I are talking about. All these are jar files which is being created. Now clear it. This time, let's go ahead and this time let's go ahead and send out a request through here itself. You can also send a request through browser.
Okay.
What is it? 8081/AMQP. Oh, sorry.
JM. Hey, okay.
Okay. Send out a request.
JM కదా.
Oh, sorry. JMQP. Let's go here. Change this to perspective. And where are you getting JMSQ?
Next.
Then, and you see what exactly it is carrying. It is carrying, and what is it saying? So in
Message.
this, it is carrying this message from mule application because we haven't given any query parameter. So that is the default value. It is being published. And what is that? It is been published. Message from mule application has been published. Now go here and then
Refresh.
refresh it. See,
Okay.
now you can
Now
see
this
two
response.
enqueued and one in the pending message. So one is pending. What is the pending message? Let's go ahead and see inside. This is the pending message.
Mm.
So if you go on and ask for the consume now, let's go ahead and ask the same thing with the consume now.
JMC P. Okay. See. Okay.
Let me go ahead and something.
Mm.
Now it will go ahead and consume the same message what you have published. See,
Mm.
message from mule application publish operation. So this is what it is consuming from the public, whatever it has been queued. Now just go to the queues. Now you will see 00 messages has been dequeued. So the message from the mule application publish operation. This is how you will publish a message. And then what is the last one? The one we were discussing, which is called as a listener. This
Mm.
is nothing but on new message. So if you were discussed about the file connector, if you remember the file connector operation, this is like an on your update.
Okay. This is
Then
listener.
yeah, this acts as a listener.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and give
Okay.
and just get the logger from here. So it will print a message. This is like an on your update file or on your message. It will
Mm,
go ahead and listens to your message. So just if you configure this, same thing.
mm,
Yeah, rather, to your question,
mm,
whatever the configuration details which we have, we can
mm,
directly connect it. And the
mm,
moment someone sends out the message at the URL,
mm.
this will listen. This is like a loop.
Okay, the someone's in the
That
message
was
on the queue.
that is what you are asking, right?
Yeah, yes, yes. We don't want, I don't,
You don't
I'm
want to have listener
listener.
over there.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
you
so
can go ahead and
listener.
use this.
Okay,
So the
on your message
moment
we have to use.
there's a message which comes in, it will
Mm.
directly listen to it based upon the destination, whatever the queue name which you have given. So they will also configure
Okay.
person who is sending out the order details. It might be an EDI. ఇప్పుడు మనకి SAP డాక్యుమెంట్ SAP కనెక్టర్స్ ఉంటాయి, SAP టీమ్ ఉంటుంది, డేటాబేస్ టీమ్ ఉంటుంది. They will also send out the details కదా. So they
Yeah,
will
yes.
configure with the same queue name.
ఓకే ఓకే ఇప్పుడు మనం పబ్లిష్ అయింది కన్జ్యూమ్ అయింది అండ్ ఆన్ న్యూ మెసేజ్ అయింది ఫర్ సపోజ్ పబ్లిష్ కన్జ్యూమ్ ఒకటే ఇప్పుడు మనం ఒక ఎక్స్టర్నల్ సిస్టమ్కి పంపిస్తున్నాం వాళ్ళు మనకు రిప్లై ఇస్తారు అది అలా అదేలా సేమ్ సేమ్
Same,
సేమ్ సేమ్ కనెక్ట్
same
అవ్వాలి
kind of operation. So you will have publish, then you will have a logic in between, and then you will have a consume. Or rather, you can use publish consume and separate ఉంటుంది. You can use this
ఓకే ఓన్లీ వీ కెన్ యూజ్ వన్ కనెక్టర్ ఫర్
one
బోత్
connector
పబ్లిష్ అండ్
instead of
కన్జ్యూమ్
using.
ఓకే ఓకే
If your logic needs both publish and consume, then you will be using one
ఓకే
connector.
ఏసీకి అంటే అక్నాలెడ్జ్మెంట్ కన్జ్యూమ్ అంటే కన్జ్యూమ్ ఆన్ న్యూ మెసేజ్ అంటే ఇట్స్ ఎ రిసీవర్ ఓకే ఇట్స్ ఎ లిజనర్
Exactly.
పబ్లిష్ అండ్ వాట్ ఈస్ రికవర్ సెషన్
That's what I'm saying. Any session which has been like acknowledgement aindi, and just read this. What does it says? If you perform a session recover when the mode is selected with while consuming the message. While consuming message, ఏమైంది? There was some performance issue. Okay, some server issue. What happens is it will automatically redeliver. So redeliver attempts అని ఉంటుంది. For example, something offline. The person was offline. So then in that case, if you remember, for the queues person who needs a message, this is what we will go ahead and configure recover session. The person who is online, then immediately it will. So మనం ఒక different level. So for example, let me go ahead and drag and drop it here first. మనం ఒక ఐడి ఇచ్చేస్తాం బేసికలీ. ఆ ఐడిలో మనం based upon the ID, it will keep on reattempting it. That session will reattempt it. So that is nothing but a recover session. But mostly we don't use it. We will use until successful అని ఒకటి స్కోప్ ఉంటుంది. We will
ఓకే దిస్
discuss
ఇస్
when we
ఫర్
come
ద
to that part.
జేఎంఎస్ ఎంక్యూకి సపరేట్ కనెక్టర్స్ ఉంటుందా మనకు
Yeah,
ఎంక్యూకి సపరేట్
MQ కి
కనెక్టర్
మళ్ళీ
ఓకే
ఎనీ పాయింట్ MQ.
ద నేమ్ ఈజ్ ఎనీ పాయింట్ ఎంక్యూ
సో దీంట్లో మాక్సిమం ఉండదు బికాస్ దట్స్ వాట్
ఓకే
ఐమ్ సేయింగ్.
ఓకే అది
దిస్ ఇస్ అ
ఎంటర్ప్రైజ్
లైసెన్స్డ్ వన్ కాబట్టి
లైసెన్స్ ఇవ్వను ఓకే
ఎంటర్ప్రైజ్ వర్షన్. సో లెట్స్ సి AMQ. See AMQP. This is the connector which
ఓకే
we'll
ఇది
add.
ఓకే యాడ్ చేస్తే అయిపోతుంది ఓకే
Then once you add it, simple. The moment you add it in your palette, there is a jar file which creates over here.
ఓకే ప్యాలెట్ కనెక్టర్స్ ఓకే
Palette lo you will have modules. Modules is nothing but your connectors.
ఓకే ఓకే
Same. All the operations are same.
ఏసీకే
If you see,
కన్జ్యూమ్ సేమ్ రిజెక్ట్ ఒకటి
all the operations are same. It's just that you just need the logic. You're learning through JMS. That's okay. Whatever the operation messaging queues which you are working on, that would be easy.
ఓకే
Mulesoft is something which is kind of a reusable thing. ఒకటి నేర్చుకుంటే ఇంకో దానికి అప్లై చేసేసుకోవచ్చు. See, this is what we have updated for the destination. And then my consumer type, by default, it is a queue consumer. I don't have to select. And then what is the response which you need? Just
ఇప్పుడు నన్
scroll
సెలెక్ట్
down.
చేస్తే అది బోత్ అప్లికేబుల్ అవుతుందా క్యూకి టాపిక్కి
QK. By
నన్
default,
మీన్స్
none
బై
ఉన్నప్పుడు queue.
డిఫాల్ట్ క్యూ ఓకే
This is a payload. And then this is a payload which is also which I have given a payload. And now number of consumers. number of threads which I wanted to run as of now. Threads code church. Number of consumers you want to run. There might be multiple consumers at your end, but mostly we will run one by one only. So we will run only one. That is enough configurations which we have. So there is no difference. Consume in between the process, it will go ahead and read. And your listener or on your message, it will starts by reading the message from its queue and then save it. So here, this time I will go ahead and give the message name differently. I'll give a query parameter called as message equals to this message equals to what should I give? Publish one. I'll just give some value, some random value. I'll keep it ready until this gets deployed. This is initializing. See, always. So when there is a redeployment, you won't get it as a deployed. It will come as a successfully started. And then where is it? Amazon JMS queue. I'll just mention. And this will get added to your JMS queue immediately after doing there.
Should receive.
Let's consume. See here, your publish flow started immediately after going there. This is your publish flow. Just try to observe the loggers over here. This is started, and then my message to JMS queue has been
A new message received.
printed,
Okay.
and this is being printed. See, this is being listening. The moment it is published over here, it started listening to that. And then just go to here. That's it. See, number of consumers, 1. And how many enqueued, how many queued, dequeued. Let me go ahead and give a breakpoint over here again.
Breakpoint, then save. It will automatically. Okay.
No need to save. For the breakpoints, you don't have to.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and same message. So if you can see what are the spaces is been replaced by %20 or something.
Why?
Just mentioned. Okay, fine. That's okay. We will use the same message for us. And then come back here. Now you're trying to get the data. Now you're trying to get the value from the query parameter, and you're trying to publish it to the particular message. Now my publish flow is completed. Now after publish flow, you will have your logger component. So your consume, what is it? The listener flow will automatically start, and it will try to get the message and try to publish it. So that is how you'll get the message for the listener also. So this is all about your 3 operations of your JMS queue operators. And the same thing, the moment it is done, if you want to consume, just go ahead and use the consume operation. Where is it? Yeah. Click on yes and just proceed further. Then sit down. Why is it not stopping? Oh, sorry. It's already been listened, right? So that is the reason we are not able to consume it. It is already been received or been listened by this. So that is the reason it is not staying at the queue. If you see,
Yeah.
it
There is
is
no
not
message.
staying at the queue. No pending messages. This has already been listened. That's the reason. So number of how many consumers we had? So number because of this listener, now we are getting number of consumers over here. So
Yeah.
this is how it is. So this is also a beneficial for you. Why is that? You just need to know what type of an errors we will get. What are the errors which we need to identify? So
JMS.
by
Okay.
means of identifying those errors, you will come to know which component is giving me different errors. So
Okay.
this has
సో
been
ఇందులో
published.
okay. ఇందులో ఏమడుగుతా ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్వశ్చన్స్ జేఎంఎస్ లో?
JMS law normally what is queue and what is topic, and tell me how do you publish. And so if you the same question, what if I don't want to use a listener? How do I need to go ahead and listen it from the
Yeah,
queue
on new message. We have to use on new message
on
connector.
your message? So so before that, what is the new what is the processor which we try to listen?
What is the process? Try to listen
So
means.
example, you are getting a request from the web browser. Okay, from the web
Mm,
browser, you're getting a request. So
mm,
once you receive a web browser request, you
mm.
want to listen that. So while listening to it,
Consume.
there is a processor component which has to be configured. What is that processor component of the messaging queue?
Processor component have to JMS connection. Mm.
That's what JMS connection law. What is the component which we use when we are giving a listener component? ఇదే కదా publish కదా.
Publish. Okay. 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 Publish to send the messages. Consume
Publish
to.
exactly.
Mm,
It is consume is nothing but we are invoking,
mm.
or retrieving,
Okay. ఇంకా
and then so what is the message till now published? They will give a real-time scenario or some message which has been published. Now let me go ahead and send this request. So they will ask you condition kind of thing. For example, I don't want to send any query parameter. I have created query parameter, but I don't want to send. Do you think that I have given the default value? So what is the value which I'll get? అని అడుగుతారు వాళ్ళు.
what is the value? Attribute default value.
Exactly. That is
Okay.
what you should be ready to say, to tell. It should be a default value. See, message from Mule application publish operation has been updated. Can you see? Mule message from Mule application publish operation. So this is publishing it, and then it is also what do you say? Listening to it. So the moment it is done, your payload is becoming empty. You're publishing an empty message to the queue. It will give some issue. So that is the reason we will also always give some default values, no matter whatever it is. If you don't give any default values, it will provide a null. It won't provide any values over there. So that is why by default we will give such messages. What are the default messages where client is requesting you to do so? So that is the reason we will go ahead and give update. So you have created a consumer queue registers consumers. Whenever the message comes, automatically your JMS system will request the message for this particular consumer. Who is the consumer over here which we have created? This is the consumer.
On your message.
So this is acting like a flow reference. This is just your registering with the flow. We are registering with the JMS system. Because of this JMS configuration, this is being connected over here. So whenever there is a message which has been published, please send me that message. You're requesting to send a message. That is what it is. Even if you don't have the publish operation here, but third party, some person is sending out a message over here, then it is consume. It is reading. The moment it is falling into this particular queue, it is reading over here. So that is how it will provide us an input. It keeps on trigger it. It will keep on triggering. And then
ఒకసారి జేఎంఎస్ కనెక్షన్ ఇవి మామూలుగా హార్డ్ కోడ్ కాకుండా ఎక్కడ పెడతారో చెప్పగలరా? గ్లోబల్ వేరియబుల్ సంథింగ్ అంటారు కదా.
configuration, that's what. We'll create a configuration file over here.
సో చూపిస్తారా ఒకసారి ఎలా?
That would be a whole different component again.
శాంపుల్ ఏదైనా న్యూకి వెళ్ళి
No need to fill a folder. I'll create a file directly.
న్యూ file. Okay. So we have to create in the source main resources. Okay. New file
Yeah,
config.yaml.
YAML.
Okay. అలానే ఉండాలి నేమ్
Yeah,
config.yaml.
exactly. That's what. When we come to this configuration properties, you will get all the in detail explanation why YAML, why dot properties అనేది we will discuss in detail.
Okay. config.yaml లో. Okay.
Now what we will do is
Hmm.
just go here. I need connection. Under connection, I have username and password. So what I'll do is
Password.
just click
మాన్యువల్గా రాయాలి ఇక్కడ.
connection. Yeah, obviously.
ఓకే.
And then
బట్ ఇది JMS
username.
కనెక్షన్ ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది దీనికి? మనకు STP కనెక్షన్ కూడా ఉంది కదా.
That's okay. This is the dynamic value which we are going to update over there.
ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఫర్ సపోజ్ JMS ఉంది, యాక్టివ్ MQ కనెక్షన్ ఉంది. బట్ అది దేనికి అసైన్ చేస్తుంది వాల్యూస్?
I'll show you 1 minute.
ఓకే. కనెక్షన్. ఓకే. ఇవి హార్డ్ కోడ్. ఓకే. అగైన్. ఓకే. సో ఈచ్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ కు డిఫరెంట్ కాన్ఫిగ్ YAML ఫైల్ ఉంటుందా? డెవ్‌కి, క్యూఏకి?
Exactly.
ఓకే. ఓకే. సో అందులో ఓకే. ఆ YAML ఫైల్‌లో ఫర్ సపోజ్ డెవ్ YAML ఫైల్ ఉందనుకోండి. అందులో వాల్యూస్ మనం హార్డ్ కోడ్ ఎయాలా? మళ్ళీ ఏమన్నా
Sorry.
ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ సపోజ్ దాన్ని config.yaml అనేది డెవ్ YAML ఫైల్ అనుకోండి. ఓకేనా?
1 second.
ఓకే. ఓకే. జస్ట్
Let me explain this first for you. You asked me this.
ఓకే.
This will be dollar connection dot username, the same one. You will say dollar, always show password. This would be whatever the value which you have given.
ఓకే. డాలర్.
That's it. Oh. 1 second. This is the same value which we had given. Let me check. Username, password, I haven't saved it out. Always I need to save it out. So this has been saved out. Let's go to configuration and then do a test connection. What is it saying? Test connection dot username road is road environment within Azure deployment. Properties trying to process key within Azure door. Oh yeah. So there is one more thing which we have missed out. 1 second. So it has to identify, right? Where exactly the configuration. There's something called as configuration properties. Just click that. And the one which we have created the file. What is the file? Which is configuration.yaml.
Okay.
Then only it will try to identify and then save it out. That is what it's saying. You have given this value, fine, well and good. But how exactly it will come to know that this has been updated. So there should be a connection కదా. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఒక బల్బ్ హోల్డర్ పెట్టాము, మనం కనెక్షన్ ఇచ్చేసాం, బట్ దట్ మెయిన్ కనెక్షన్ కి దీనికి కనెక్ట్ చేయకపోతే లైట్ వెలగదు కదా. ఇట్స్ ద సేమ్ థింగ్. The main connection over here is configuration properties.
Oh, okay. Okay.
See,
Test connection. Okay. But in the configuration that YAML file లో, okay, and the username passwords hard code కదా, ఎవరైనా ఓపెన్ చేసి చూడొచ్చు కదా. But
there's a separate encryption. When we have a secure configuration properties, we will learn.
Okay, okay.
That
Okay,
encryption will be
this is
done.
connection call, no? Okay, okay. So, for suppose JMS URL కి అలానే పెట్టుకోవచ్చా? For
Same
suppose
thing.
ఇక్కడ ఒకటి URL create.
Just go to here,
Hmm.
then URL. What do you say is under the connection itself, you will give something over here. Where is it? Sorry, over here, for example.
Okay.
This is the URL. Oh, sorry, it's there inside. So this is the, just scroll down. URL key, you will just say connection kinda B URL or something, whatever the name
Broker
you want to
URL
give.
colon. Same name ఉండాలి కదా?
Dollar,
Broker URL
dollar.
అనేది.
That's not necessary. You can give
Okay,
your
sir.
name, your own name.
Okay, ఓన్ నేమ్ ఇచ్చి ఆ నేమ్ YAML ఫైల్లో ఉండాలి.
Simple. ఇప్పుడే యూజ్ చేసేస్తాం కదా. But
డాలర్ మళ్ళీ
one
బేసిస్.
thing you need to remember is it has to be updated. The value always needs to be a B URL and bitten.
ఓకే, ఓకే.
It
ఇది
has to be inside the
కనెక్షన్
quotes.
ఇన్సైడ్ ద డబుల్
It
కోట్స్
has
ఓన్లీ.
to
ఓకే.
be inside the double quotes. So always remember this has a main connection, which is a main connection, and then you have a B URL. 1 second.
డాలర్ కనెక్షన్ డాట్. ఓకే.
And then just go back here.
ఎడిట్.
Just go here and say dollar, and then what is its connection dot B URL. This is what we have given. We haven't saved it out, otherwise it will throw an error.
ఓకే.
Every time, whenever you update, you always save it. Then only it will work.
ఓకే. ఇది ఫైన్.
Mm.
ఓకే. ఇప్పుడు పబ్లిష్ అండ్ కన్జ్యూమ్
But
ఫ్యాక్టర్స్
why do you
ఉంటాయి
want
కదా?
to learn JMS first itself? Because that is really confusing. Because this is like advanced topic. మనం డేటా వ్యూ టాపిక్ క్లియర్ చేయకపోతే ఒక్కొక్కసారి JMS will go beyond your head.
ఓకే, ఓకే, ఓకే. చూస్తుంది
So
మామూలుగా
whenever,
జావాలోనే
see,
JMS కాల్ చేస్తాం
first,
ఇలా అని.
that's what I'm saying. Don't jump into the next levels. Problem ఏంటంటే మనం బేసిక్స్ ఫస్ట్ స్ట్రాంగ్ చేసుకోవాలి. First we will cover all the basic. So that's what I'm saying. Normally whoever wants to learn and they want to excel and they want to crack the interviews, first any point స్టూడియో కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అన్ని క్లియర్ చేసుకొని ఎనీ పాయింట్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ క్లియర్ అయిన తర్వాత దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ మిసిలీనియస్ వన్స్. సో దీస్ మిసిలీనియస్ వన్స్ ఇస్ వేర్ వీ విల్ బి అప్డేటెడ్ వన్స్ యువర్ బేసిక్స్ ఆర్ స్ట్రాంగ్.
ఓకే. జస్ట్ జేడీలో అడుగుతున్నారు మామూలుగా జాబ్ డ్యూటీస్‌లో.
దట్స్ ఓకే, బట్
యాహ్!
యూ హ్యావ్ టైమ్, రైట్? యా,
యాహ్!
జేడీలో అడిగినప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ వీ విల్ కవర్ ది బేసిక్స్ పార్ట్. ఇఫ్ యూ ట్రై టు ప్రాక్టీస్ నౌ యూ విల్ టెన్ టు ఫర్గెట్ ద ప్రీవియస్ వన్. ద బేసిక్ థింగ్స్ మనం మర్చిపోతాం. ఇవన్నీ అడ్వాన్స్ టాపిక్స్. దిస్ ఇస్ లైక్ మిసిలీనియస్ అడ్వాన్స్ టాపిక్స్, JMS క్యూస్, VM క్యూస్, ఎవ్రీథింగ్. వాట్ ఈస్ అసింక్రోనస్, సింక్రోనస్. మనకు ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ఫ్లో రెఫరెన్స్ అర్థం కాకపోతే ఇది నేర్చుకొని వేస్ట్.
ఓకే, ఓకే.
ఫ్లో రెఫరెన్స్ లో మనకు ప్రైవేట్ ఫ్లోస్ ఉంటాయి, సబ్ ఫ్లోస్ ఉంటాయి. సో వాట్ ఈస్ డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ ప్రైవేట్ ఫ్లో అండ్ సబ్ ఫ్లో? సో దీస్ థింగ్స్ వీ నీడ్ టు లెర్న్. అండ్ అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం నెక్స్ట్ ఇస్ ఎర్రర్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్. ఎర్రర్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ అనేది నేర్చుకుంటాం మనం. దెన్ మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ పార్ట్ ఇస్ ఎర్రర్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ తర్వాత డేటా వ్యూ. డేటా వ్యూ కాన్సెప్ట్ అయిన తర్వాత దీస్ ఆల్ ద థింగ్స్ వీ విల్ లెర్న్. Why data view? Because data view scripts will be using inside your what is these
ఓకే.
particular components. Most of the time we will use this dynamic values. So if I go ahead and use dynamic values right away from the start go, it's like bouncers ఉంటాయి.
ఓకే,
So that
ఓకే.
is the reason. Just go. Let's. So if you look into the module also, this JMS queues, VM queues will be at the end of the modules.
ఓకే.
Even Mulesoft, whatever they provide, this will be at the end of the modules. So there is a purpose for it. Because if you don't learn the configuration properties now, but you want to learn JMSQ, that would be a big problem again.
ఓకే.
Because కాన్ఫిగరేషన్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఉంటుంది, మళ్ళీ సెక్యూర్ కాన్ఫిగరేషన్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ అని యూజ్ చేస్తాము. సో దీస్ వాల్యూస్, సో దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఐమ్ సేయింగ్. ఫస్ట్ వీ విల్ కవర్ ది మెయిన్ టాపిక్స్, బికాస్ ఫైల్ కనెక్టర్స్, వాట్ ఎవర్ ద థింగ్స్ విచ్ వీ యూజ్ రెగ్యులర్లీ, దోస్ ఆర్ ది బేసిక్ థింగ్స్. This
Okay.
JMS queue very rare we'll be using. These queues, whatever the queues, these are very rare we'll be using. That is again based upon your client requirements. Something which is not the client requirements are file something flow references, choice routers, for each scope కూడా again client requirement. అంటే
Mhm.
ఒకటేసారి మనకు డీటెయిల్స్ కావాలి, ఒకటేసారి ఇట్ హ్యాస్ టు ప్రాసెస్ స్టెప్ బై స్టెప్ అనమాట. బ్యాచ్ అనేది కూడా క్లయింట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్. సంథింగ్ విచ్ ఇస్ నాట్ అ క్లయింట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఇస్ ఎర్రర్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్. This is really important. Connector configuration, which is really important.
By
And then you
default.
have REST invocation, HTTP request. How do you invoke the external URL? That is the important topic. And then you will be looking into, because error handling itself will cover close to 4 hours. Because
Oh,
that is pretty huge. Most of the so even during the certification also, error handling is like 30% of the questions would be error handling.
oh, okay.
And after that 30% will be data view. Post which you will have other all other components. Why? Because error handling, because any of the successful scenario they will always have a error scenario,
Yes.
because they will always focus on negative part.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. That's okay, but you were able to understand this JMS, right?
Yeah, yes, yes, yeah.
So practice this,
Hmm.
and then yeah, tomorrow I'll update you.
The time
Morning
morning.
5:30 I'll message you.
Okay, okay. And one more question in the flow. Can you go to the
Mm,
flow, the JMS
mm.
flow? Uh, Here we have the consume connector and the queue name of the topic name, the destination name we give hard coded. Can we get from the configuration?
Destination is always queue name కావాలి. Configuration లో you can update your queue name.
Update చేయలేమా?
చేయొచ్చు. You can give update. Under the connection also you can give destination, and then you can give a dynamic value here.
ఇక్కడ సేమ్ డాలర్ అలానే
Dollar.
ఇచ్చేసారా?
Everything
ఓకే, ఓకే. సో
update with
ఎవ్రీవేర్
dollar.
డాలర్ లైక్
Curly
కనెక్షన్
braces.
కోల్ అండ్ డెస్టినేషన్ అలా. ఓకే, ఓకే,
Exactly.
ఓకే, ఓకే. సో
Everywhere in the connector configuration, if you want to declare, if you want to update dynamically, you don't want to expose, simple, just give it in the configuration. And this configuration by default, whatever the name you wanted to give the same name which is meaningful, and whatever the key you want to give, that the key and value should be exact. Whatever the value which you have updated initially, that value needs to be updated in the config.yaml.
ఓకే. సో ద YAML ఫైల్ ఈచ్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ డిఫరెంట్ ఉండాలి కదా, సెపరేట్.
Exactly.
We cannot use one YAML for all
No,
environment.
no, no. For example, this is for dev. I will create one for prod, one for test. I need to have different YAML files.
ఓకే, ఓకే.
And that's what I'm saying. When we come to configuration properties, then we will have global properties ఉంటుంది, system properties ఉంటుంది. There are multiple properties which we will be using. And flow properties also ఉంటుంది.
ఓకే, ఓకే.
So we will give the environment names over here. మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ dollar అని ఇచ్చేసి dynamic values some config that. See, I cannot go ahead and give, so for example, నాకు dev test అని ఉంది. I wanted to go ahead and locate, for example, in my global elements, in global properties law, I cannot go ahead and give 3 times the configuration properties, right? So what I will do is in the configuration properties itself, I'll just go ahead and give config hyphen some dynamic value. So that configuration property is totally a 2 hour session,
ఓకే, ఓకే,
because that is also an important one which we need to update.
ఓకే, ఓకే.
I think did you get any questions from Piyush?
నువ్వు అది ఇస్తా అని చెప్పాడు, ఇవ్వలేదు.
Sir, let me follow up with him.
లేటెస్ట్ ఇస్తా అని చెప్పాడు, బట్ ఇవ్వలేదు ఇంటర్వ్యూ. అండ్ మీ దగ్గర ఉంటే షేర్ చేయరా ఇంటర్వ్యూ
నా
క్వశ్చన్స్?
దగ్గర ఒకటి డంప్ అయితే వచ్చిందా, లెట్ మీ ఫార్వర్డ్ దట్ టు యు.
డంప్ ఇవ్వండి, అండ్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్వశ్చన్స్ కూడా, రియల్ టైమ్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్వశ్చన్స్ అండ్
Real time, yeah, someone had forwarded to me, I guess. Let me check.
అడిగేటి మామూలుగా అంటే మీరు
నా
ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్
దగ్గర ఉంది. యాక్చువల్లీ నేను అడిగిన క్వశ్చన్స్ కూడా ఉన్నాయి. లెట్ మీ ఫార్వర్డ్ దట్ ఈస్ ఇన్ మై ఆఫీస్ ల్యాప్టాప్. లెట్ మీ షేర్ ఇట్ టు మై పర్సనల్ వన్.
ఓకే, ఓకే. జస్ట్ ఆ డ్రైవ్ లో పెట్టండి.
డన్. రైనోనే పెట్టేస్తా.
చూస్తున్నా వౌచర్ కోసం చూస్తున్నాం లెవెల్ 1 అది
Sure.
వస్తే
But voucher, that's what I'm saying. You need to complete those modules.
అంటే క్విక్ కంప్లీట్ అయ్యారా కంపల్సరీగా 90
No, no, that's what I'm saying. Certain timings నువ్వు పెట్టేసి చేసి నెక్స్ట్ కొడుతూ ఉంటే it will work out. You will have 100% completion.
బట్ అందులో క్విజ్ అనేది ఉంటుంది క్విజ్ కంప్లీట్ చేయాలి కదా.
నీకు ఇచ్చిన కదా డమ్స్ దాంట్లో నుంచి అడుగుతాం.
మీరు అందులో పెట్టారా షేర్ లొకేషన్లో?